you all, I'm BlaqueWitchYaya. Thank you so much for tuning into this video. And today we are back with another story time while I make some of my crystal dry rub right here. Y'all are buying it up, so almost every video with the store we're going to be making my crystal dry rub, which is a dry rub sprinkle of different types of herbs that can cleanse and charge your crystals if you aren't able to use any liquid based cleanser, or if you just want to quickly sit it out for a full moon, the sun, sit it on your dresser with the rest of your crystals, sprinkle some in your jewelry box and have all your crystals sitting in there, so when you're not wearing them they can always be nice and charged for you, so they can continue to work to the best of their ability and you can keep that connection going. You can get your crystal dry rub from BlaqueWitchYaya.com. So y'all really liked my previous video with me making a dry rub because y'all said it was like a story and an ASMR at the same time. So that's what we're going to do today. But for today's story, some of you guys may be familiar with this story, especially if you live in New Orleans, baby, because that's where we going today, baby. We going to New Orleans, baby. Is that a good accent? I feel like that's pretty good. We going to New Orleans, baby. You know what I'm saying, baby? Baby. A cold drink. First of all, when y'all say cold drink, does the person know what drink y'all talking about? Like, is it Coke? Is it Fanta? Is it Mountain Dew? Are you a Sprite girl? Like, when y'all say, can I get a cold drink? Like, what? Like, how do they know? Okay, anywho. So today we are going back to New Orleans and we're going to do the story of Julia Brown, or as many people refer to it, the curse of Julia Brown. Now, many people call it a curse, and after doing some research on this story, I don't feel like it's a curse. I guess you can say curse. To me, it's karma, but I can see where curse is coming from. Y'all let me know down below. The crystal of the day is the black obsidian, which is a truth-enhancing crystal. A strong protective stone, it forms a shield against negativity, blocks physical attacks that others may cause, absorbs negative energies from the environment and people, and draws out mental stress and tension. And you can get your black obsidian from BlaqueWitchYaya.com. So Miss Julia Brown relocated from Frenier. I hope I'm saying it right, Frenier or Frenier or Frenier, which is basically a small town in Louisiana, and she relocated there from New Orleans. And this town was very small. When I say a small town, it was off grid. You really had to be there to know about it. Not too many people outside of Louisiana even heard of it before. And it was just a really small town. Like, to get supplies, they had to track down the train conductor when it drove through and hand them a list of stuff they needed in hopes that he would bring it back through his next pass through. And also with the conductor, it was so off grid to the point where they didn't really get any newspaper or news or update of what's going on. He would occasionally throw out newspapers, just like one or two, just so the news can spread around the area so they can know what's going on. So that's how much of a small town that we are working with. But even though this was a small town, people went out of their way to go there because Miss Julia Brown lived there. Now, who is Julia Brown and why are people going out their way to see her? So Miss Julia Brown was a healer. In a lot of my research, they refer to her as like a voodoo priestess, a witch lady. But to me, overall, her true power was a healer, no matter what exactly she practiced. Voodoo, you never know. People call everything voodoo nowadays. But to me, she was a healer and she healed so many people. And the fact that she relocated didn't stop people from going to see her because she was just that good. They said, hey, if we got to go over here to the boondocks, we just gonna have to do it because can't nobody do it like Miss Brown. And people loved her, kind of, sort of. People loved her just because she was truly good at what she does. She has a true gift. No matter what type of thing you got going on, it was a fever, a common cold, your menstrual cycle's crazy, you sick, you whatever you have going on, she was able to concoct something, whether it's a tea, a rub, or oil. She was able to create something in order to heal her clients. And people loved her just for that. And the reason why I say it like that is because she did all this healing, but yet when she seen her clients in person or out in public, they kind of just gave her a look like, okay, like she was a stranger. Like, people just didn't greet her as if you would greet someone who literally just healed your father or healed your daughter. Like, they just treated her like, okay, you healed me, bye, that's it, that's all. Of course, in some cases she was getting paid for it, or they'll do like some type of exchange. But you know, sometimes when you know people and you're familiar with them, you want to get a hey, how you doing, hello, when you're out in public. And especially with the type of healing that she did, you would think people would stop by, bring a pie, sit down and to have a cup of tea with her. Like, she was really making miracles out here. Like, she just stopped your sister from dying. You don't want to go check on her to see how she doing, bring her some corn or something? Like, I don't know. Like, at least for me, like, if you do something for me like that, honey, when I'm going to the store, hey, you want something? Oh, I'm in town, you need me to pick up something for you? Just to show gratitude outside of the initial payment, just to show like how thankful you are. I don't know, just sometimes checking up on people is nice. And it was so bad to the point where she knew when people knocked on the door that they were only there for something that they needed. So much to the point where they felt entitled. Like, people just kind of went to her like, yeah, hey, I need you to do this, and that's it, that's all. Like, it was nothing more, nothing less. Treating her like she was their employee or something. Just very entitled and mean-spirited. Now, I was honestly surprised by this, because if you hear just some of the stories and the testimonies that people have, like, just from being around her and experiencing her, you would think people would pay her a little bit more respect just because of how powerful she was. People going out their way to see her, you would think like, okay, so let me at least swing by there or thank her again, or keep her updated on, hey, remember that rub you made for my grandfather? It worked, you know, doing something like that. But no, but yet then again, some people were so comfortable with her and felt so safe with her that they referred to her as Aunt Julia. Now, in my head, at least in like our community, when you call somebody auntie, that means you really like them, you like being around them, you care for them, they are very wise, they have a lot of advice, you respect them. So I'm like, why y'all calling her Aunt Julia if y'all not even really much saying hey to her while y'all down to the market? That's weird. But of course, Miss Julia continued to do her work. She continued to heal people because that was her purpose. So despite people being ungrateful, feeling a little entitled, feeling a little rude, she knew that it was her sole physical duty while she was here having an earthly experience, that her spirit was meant to heal people. So she continued to do so. Now, over time, the treatment got worse and worse. People feeling very entitled. If she had clients, they would come in like, okay, well, my daughter needs this. Okay, well, I need this. Or, you know, sometimes when it comes to spiritual work, people can become so dependent and so entitled to the point where they get upset with you if you have other people to treat, or if you need rest, or if you're just simply not on the clock or on vacation. They'll look at you like, so you can't take care of me? Oh, so you just want to do that. That's more important than what spirit wants you to do. Like, people still need a break. People have other clients. You aren't people only clients. Your needs aren't important than anybody else's. Like, everything can't be instant popcorn treatment, you know? Trust me, I've seen that for myself. People get like, well, I need this now. I need a reading now. I need this now. And it's like, it don't work like that. It's still a service. You have to abide by it. You have to respect other people's needs, especially the person that's treating you. So, in the next story. But honestly, Miss Julia is way more patient than me, because I'd be like, y'all gonna get the F out of my face with all that. Get away from me, Apollo, with this. Like, that can be just, oof. But as time went on, Miss Julia's patience began to wear very, very thin, because the treatment got worse as word went around town of what she does. She got more clientele. So the more people to deal with, the more people to feel entitled. And I feel that the main reason they kind of gave her a little snarky look in public, because even though they're going to her for her voodoo magic or whatever type of magic they want to refer to it, I'm gonna call it voodoo because usually that's like the taboo thing. I feel like they needed her service and they knew they needed it, but they were ashamed in public to greet her, because at the end of the day, she was known as the town witch lady, but yet everybody was going to her for treatment, but was ashamed that they were going to her for treatment. Even though almost everybody was going to her for treatment, they were still like, oh, she does witchery, but yet you was just at her house the other day crying. So I'm sure that hurt. Like, oh, you were smiling in my face when you needed something, but now we're in the same area. You looking at me like I'm beneath you, but I just helped you get cured. So over time, Miss Julia patience began to wear very, very thin. And usually when she's out on her porch, she would sing happy songs that she just make up on the whim. But over time, those lyrics started to change, and those songs soon became warnings. She would sit on her porch and sing, I'm gonna die soon, and when I leave, I'm gonna take all of you with me, or something of that sort. Like, I'm gonna die soon, but when I leave, you coming with me too. Basically, when I'm up out of here, we all up out of here at the same time. Trust and believe. So she was singing songs like that, and people just thought, okay, there go the voodoo lady being voodoo. But she was giving the town a warning, and that's a warning they honestly should have listened to. Now, she did get a vision that she was going to pass away soon, and that's when she really started singing the song to warn people. So going over to her funeral when she passed away, a lot of people showed up to this funeral. Now, you know, usually people don't respect you while you're here, but as soon as you pass, it's, oh, I miss you, rest easy, big up. You know, it's all the respect. That's why it's important to give people their flowers while they are living, because when you show up to their funeral, you saying goodbye, you know. So a lot of people showed up, but for a variety of reasons. Now, some people showed because they actually wanted to pay their respects to Miss Julia. The people who referred to her as Aunt Julia really respected what she does and all that good stuff. And other people, they showed up because they didn't want her spirit to haunt them, and because they knew that they mistreated her while she was living. So now all of a sudden they started to feel bad, and they were like, oh my God, let me show up to her funeral so maybe, you know, she be wanting, like, she'll take it easy on me. But that didn't happen, because going back to the conductor of the train, one day he dropped off a newspaper that warned the town that a hurricane was coming, but for some odd reason that news didn't travel around town like it usually does for the rest of the news. So the day of Miss Julia's funeral, a horrible hurricane hit the town. It was known as the New Orleans hurricane of 1915. And they didn't categorize it before, like back in those days, but today, looking at the damage of it, it would have been categorized as a category 4 hurricane. Now, for my people who get hurricanes, like my fellow Floridians, my Louisiana people, Texas people, Georgia people, you probably know a category 4 is get the heck out of town. Category 4 is like play with it if you want to, you know. I know sometimes in Florida we don't really take hurricanes that seriously until they're like, hey, you need to evacuate. But category 4 in a town that small, kind of rugged, the construction isn't that sturdy, so you know that hurricane blew out the entire town. And many people found it weird that it happened the same day of Miss Julia's funeral, when she was saying, when I leave, I'm going to take this town with me, and then a hurricane hits. Now, many people evacuated the town for the hurricane, and other people felt like they could, you know, stick through it. Like, it's not going to be that bad. You know, we'll try to live it through. But September 30th, 1915 became a day that everybody remembers, because the hurricane wiped out the entire town, and majority of the people that were in it that decided not to evacuate. There's also a part of the story that talks about how Julia Brown casket disappeared at one point during a hurricane, or something happened with the casket at some point during a hurricane, but I couldn't gather enough detail about it to properly share it. But something happened with the casket. So I don't know what spirit Miss Julia Brown was working with. To me, it sounds like Miss Oya did her thing, and they were like, okay, you're gonna take advantage of this young lady. Now you gotta feel the wrath of the spirit she was working with, and we don't care, we don't play about that. And it wiped out the entire town. And this is why I said, okay, I can see why it can be considered a curse, because maybe not everybody in the town, you know, was rude to her or even needed her services. But just overall, I feel like the lesson is, don't take advantage of the people that help you. No matter if it's your local candy lady, don't be like, oh, I'll give you $1 next time, and you never give her $1. Whether it's people who provide a service for you, if it's your hairdresser. Oh, I have a good story about a hairdresser coming up, so make sure y'all are subscribed and you have a notification bell. And that's a happy story. I know sometimes stories can be kind of gloom and doom, but that's a really happy story, and it's really sweet. But yeah, just don't take advantage of people, because over time they may seem like they're patient, or they're just being very nice in the process because they still have to do their service. You want to respect people's powers and respect people's gifts. And God forbid if another case of Julia Brown ever happens again. But to me, this is just a demonstration of how you have to respect people, respect their services, and never get too entitled, and understand at the end of the day, yes, you're getting a service, but that service is going to be bestowed upon other people too, and other people are in need of help, and be considerate of other people's problems as well. So you guys let me know down below. Do you feel like it's just a coincidence that the hurricane happened on the same day in the town that Miss Julia resided and was taken advantage of? Well, do you consider it instant karma, or do you consider it a curse? Do you feel, oh, y'all was mad for her and showed up and showed out with the storm? You guys let me know down below. I do consider it a curse. Maybe she cursed the town before her passing, and maybe the people that evacuated were the people who didn't take advantage of her. Like maybe she did it in a way like, I want to cause harm to the people who hurt me. So maybe like spirit communicated indirectly with the people who chose to evacuate, and then the people who was hard-headed, which sounds like the people who would be rude to her, decided to stay and felt the wrath. So you guys let me know down below, what would you consider it? But that is the curse of Julia Brown. I'm going to continue making this dry rub in the next video. Make sure you guys purchase it from BlaqueWitchYaya.com. Let me know any other stories you guys would like me to cover. But until the next video, like I always say, as above so below, as within so without, as the universe so the soul. Until next time, you guys, Ashe.